Hello and welcome to the Globetrotter. Today we have with us a singer who won much acclaim with his debut song itself, a rapper and a songwriter.
Let's welcome Randhir Withana, otherwise we fondly call him Randy. Hi Randy, how are you doing?
Good.
What would you take as your favorite destination?
France, Italy, Italy in particular, also France. What you find in those countries is that they have a very unique sense of identity.
So how much time do you really have to experience these places, and what about France really gets to you?
So in France, what I like about France is, we were based in Paris, and we were lucky enough to get accommodation somewhere along that Rue de Charles de Gaulle. So basically, that's one of the major roads there, and we were pretty close to this area called the Champs-Élysées, and it's nearby to that you find the Arc of Triumph. Okay, so more than the Eiffel Tower, I find the Arc of Triumph a little bit more sort of impressive. The reason being that it's just the whole story behind it. So it was, from what I know, it was commissioned by Napoleon, right? And Napoleon built it to honor his troops because they had won a major battle somewhere overseas. And he basically promised his army after the victory, he said, when you guys go back home, you guys are going to walk through an Arc of Victory. So the Arc of Triumph, right? Arc of Victory. It's a very grand monument. Okay, it's a very grand monument. At the same time, has a little bit of a haunting vibe to it as well. All right, because when you think about it, it's actually been built to honor soldiers, most possibly people who sort of gave their lives in battle. Right, so it has a little bit of an ominous vibe as well. As we landed, we got taken to a little bistro, and one of my fellow musicians thought of being very bold and ordered escargot, which is basically snails. So they bring you this bowl of snails, and they give you a little pitch, like a little mini sort of pitchfork, like thing to kind of like pick at it with, sort of get the flesh out of the shell. It's pretty gross if you're not familiar with it.
Because I know that the one place I left out was Euro Disney. The expert on that is Verona. She's going to come to you with a whole load of that.
It's a world unto itself, and you actually need about 2 to 3 days to fully experience it, to fully experience every ride. The time that I went, there was a particular like a theme, like a separate, like within the theme park, like a separate little tiny theme park dedicated to the movie Pirates of the Caribbean. Right, and that was amazing. So that was really exciting. I'm more of a thrill seeker when it comes to amusement parks, right? So I love roller coasters. I love anything that gives you a blood rush. The Space Mountain, all right. So they've got this roller coaster ride called the Space Mountain, and that's apparently the scariest ride in all of Disney. Tried that twice over actually. Yeah. Just the detail and the effort that's been put in to create that atmosphere, create that dreamland kind of landscape. I mean, I think it's every child's dream, because
It's just magical, right?
It's magical. During like at certain intervals, they have these parades, right? They have these parades that show up as well, and these parades are full of all the major Disney characters. So you've got Aladdin, you've got Rapunzel, you've got all of them. Okay, all of them basically. And I think I pretty much watched every major Disney cartoon as well. So yeah. I think it's amazing. I think it's a tribute to one of the greatest, sort of filmmakers. It's a tribute to like one of the biggest icons in Hollywood history. It's amazing.
Randy, you don't speak French, do you?
Un petit peu. I speak a little bit.
Because I remember you sang for an event of ours.
That's right.
And sang a French song, which means you actually fibbed your way through half the song.
No. I was true to every word of that song.
Un espoir merveilleux
Why don't you share a few words in French so people can probably use it when they visit there?
Oh yeah, so I mean, just the basics. So if you want to say, if you want to say hello, it's well, there's a few ways of saying hello. So bonjour means good day. So that's the most popular phrase, obviously. Bonsoir is good evening. Bonne nuit, good night. If you want to say hello in passing, you can say salut. Right, so salut. At the same time, you want to ask somebody. If you want to ask someone how they're doing, you can be like, comment allez-vous? Comment vas-tu? How are you? How are you? That's what it means. Thank you. Merci. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
They are a little friendlier, aren't they, when you know that you're at least trying to attempt to speak their language.
They are friendly. They do warm up to you if number one, they noticed you're a traveler, and number two, if you speak them in French and if you even fumble your way through the language, they kind of warm up to you a little bit because they're not very comfortable speaking English. All right. When I say they, I refer to most of the youth, like the teenagers, because they're on social media and all that stuff. I mean, they're a little bit more comfortable, but the more mature generations, you're better off trying to communicate in French with them.
Did you do any of the normal tourist sites like the Notre Dame, Eiffel Tower, any of those, the Louvre?
Actually, yeah, not the Louvre, but I think the cathedral in Notre Dame, yes. Right. The river cruises, yes. The Eiffel Tower, yes. Yeah, so all of the above, but but missed out on the Louvre, and that was a shame because really wanted to see what all the fuss is about when it comes to the portrait of the Mona Lisa.
Verona, you've been there to the city where Romeo and Juliet was set. How did you enjoy that experience?
Oh, that was amazing. Verona, it's a very small city, all right? But it's that typical, when you walk down the streets of Verona, you kind of realize that this city, this is the perfect setting for any kind of love story, all right? It's that picture perfect sort of fairy tale kind of atmosphere. So paved streets, cobblestone streets, all right, sort of like these, lanterns, very, very small little cottagey looking buildings. And that's the one thing about Italy, right? The one thing about Italy and France for that matter, even more so Italy, is that these guys have maintained their architectural style, that very classic architectural style from back in the day. A lot of the old buildings, they've been preserved, and it probably costs in the millions to do that, but they have still preserved it. Verona is a very curious city, right? And these guys have really milked the whole Romeo and Juliet story.
You were telling me about an intimate moment that you had with the statue. Really? You care to elaborate on that?
The filtered version, maybe.
Zafrana is being careful on that side.
Okay, well, the story is this. There's a particular statue of a maiden in Italy, right? And legend has it that if you touch the statue, right, in a certain very intimate location, okay, if you touch the statue, then it gives you good luck. Now, I'm still waiting on my luck to realize from like ages ago, okay, but that particular region of the statue also has been touched so many times, years of being touched. It's pretty obvious that it's that people believe in the legend of its good luck. All right, but aside from the statue, one thing you'll find, and it's a very curious thing, you find a lot of padlocks attached to gates and anything you can attach a padlock to, and these padlocks pretty much have the names of lovers inscribed on them. So you can get these done, all right? Like couples get these done, and they attach it to bridges and gates and entrances and stuff like that. And it's really cute,
Is it very expensive?
It's not expensive. See, that's the thing, right? I mean, a lot of people, you see, when you think of Europe and you think of, as a Sri Lankan traveler, the moment you have to convert rupees to dollars or euros, it's painful because the exchange rate's always in the hundreds and it's in their favor. But having said that, to do tourist stuff in Europe, when you're spending in euros, it's not super expensive. It's not that expensive. It depends on what you're trying to do. Okay. I mean, if you obviously the kind of accommodation you'll spend on, that can be pricey depending on how on what you're looking for, right? But when it comes to just everyday things like drinking coffee, enjoying a baguette or just buying pastries or having lunch, it's what you'd anyway pay at a 5-star hotel here. Italian in general, I mean, even the language, it's very have you ever seen Italians speak? There's a lot of they put their bodies into it. There's hands flailing and so on. So even when they drive, they're just the same. It's like they'll put their shutter down and yell at the other driver, and it's all very dramatic. Yeah.
But you also toured, I think, Germany.
I was like representing Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan music industry there. One tourist attraction, I guess you could call it, which was a memorial to the victims of the Holocaust. All right, it was in this square somewhere, and it was a bit of an abstract kind of a monument. It was this series of pillars, all right, this collection of pillars, and you pretty much could sort of walk in between them. But it was very haunting. It was very, very haunting. Aside from that, we were sort of given the opportunity to kind of check out the nightlife in Berlin. And Berlin is a city that it never sleeps. All right, so 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, there's something open and there's some place to go. It's amazing.
Thank you for joining with us today, Randhir, and we hope you find your significant other soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.